Good night, everyone, and welcome back to Nocturnal Corner with Bat. And in today's episode, we are continuing on to our next video in theme park management. Today, I'm actually doing it with guests today. If you guys want to introduce yourself.
Just your go-to boss.
They're all very excited, as you can see. But
Very much so. I just didn't know the order we were going. I'm Jackson's here.
But this one is going to be a stimulating experience, excitement for some, anxiety for others. So the speakers on this video, because I like giving credit to these people, is Tamera Brown. She is the exclusive director of St. Louis Aquarium. Norman Burns, president and CEO of Prairie. Diane Lochner, I have no idea if I said that right, vice president of PGAV Destinations. And then Brandon Thom, Vice President of Adventure Island SeaWorld Parks and Entertainment. So basically this whole video, or their video of education, is literally all about DEAI, Diversity, Equity, Accessibility, and Inclusion. Also, there is a fabricator airship thing right here. So I don't know if you guys know about the whole, like, political aspect of the diversity, equity, inclusion thing, but this is like the one that I think is better, because instead of just being about you know, like certain political aspects that we got nowadays, it's actually more about actually helping kids with like disabilities, either mentally or physically. Alright, I'm like trying to say this while trying to get my pack and not die from a gunship.
Yeah, I know.
Alright. So, firstly...
Got a hole coming in.
Yeah, I just revived my... or whatever, tried to heal myself twice, and both times got canceled. Wow, whose controller is that, bro?
No, it might be mine. I have it off, but I don't know why it does that. I'll see myself when I speak.
Ah! Bro, we landed in a terrible spot, by the way.
Calling down a support weapon.
I'm like trying not to die, even though I know I have to try to continue on. But the first one, and I kind of feel bad for this lady, because she was trying to speak, right? And she ended up getting like a sore throat or something. So the whole time in her speech, she was just doing nothing but coughing. And basically what she was talking about was she's in charge of the aquarium, right? And the aquarium, they really want to be like, what is it? It's called like sensory inclusive, which means like it's for kids that have a lot of sensory issues. So it's like if they hear loud noises or anything, they're very prone to freaking out, right? And what they have...
Like epilepsy?
Kinda. It's kinda just like kids that can't take loud noises very well. Like if the colors are too bright and it hurts their eyes and everything, so they'll start like freaking out and, you know, like crying and like, I don't know how to really explain it, but you know, basically saying freaking out. But when this happens, they have things like calming corners, calming bags, and they really didn't know what to do with this. And what I found is there's something very in common with all three, and it's that none of them actually seem to have experience with dealing with these type of medical issues with kids. So what they say is when you're trying to make your aquarium, your theme park, your water park or whatever, right? They say that the goal is to use partnerships. So what they do is they get places like Culture City, which is one partnership that I think this lady used, and these partnerships will do certifications for them, right? And when they get these certifications, it basically is like, I literally spawned in, exploded, and then fell on a contact mine.
Story of my life.
But
I went out of bounds. Yeah, no.
Well, maybe that's the trick, is go out of bounds, get shelled, so you kill everything, because it seems like we're surrounded. There's a lot of gunships up there.
Give the target sentry a help.
Oh my god.
Explode.
So, dude, what was I saying? I'm getting distracted by the game. So basically they have all these partnerships that actually come in and give them the certifications, give their teams training, and they teach them about all of the, like, the knowledge that they've gained in the field. So I guess they're kind of like, I don't really know how to explain it, but they're like organizations that deal with these kids, and all they do is they help other organizations be able to better sponsor these children.
Calling in reinforcements.
And that's basically all the lady said, is that she just kind of went through this whole thing about calming corners and calming bags, where the bags have like fidget toys. They'll have like certain items in them, so if the kid starts like getting a little fidgety in the line or whatever, they could reach into the bag and be able to you know, calm the child. While the calming corners is like say the loud noises start making them freak out, or they like see something that makes them go a little like crying, and they don't know how to handle it type of deal. They'll put like calming corners in a lot of these areas, so that way when the kids come in and they start having those moments, the parents can lead them to these areas of silence and take them away from these, like, the loud noises, the bright colors, and things that they can't like handle at the moment.
Yeah, when they get overstimulated.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's basically what that aquarium did. And the other thing is, obviously, like I said, it trains the staff on how to properly handle it. So say like there's different techniques on how to talk to kids with these type of sensory issues. But that's basically all that they said on that one. It's rather simple. Now the next one. No, go ahead. No, I was gonna go on to the next part.
No, I'm just saying, like, yeah, with kids with those you know, autism or different kind of, you know, sensitivity to sounds or stimulation, you know, they react differently. So you kind of have to, you can't really have a general outlook on it. You gotta be like, you gotta cater to the different, I guess the different.
Yeah, the different audiences, because everyone has it like differently.
Yeah, some kids can handle light, some kids can handle sounds, and some can't handle anything. You know.
Yes.
It's tough to fill that void, I guess. It can be done. It just takes a lot of, you know, really knowing and understanding what the children need.
Exactly. One of the things that they do say is that if you don't have experience with such things, that it can be a little difficult at first, because a lot of it is from the training, but a lot of it also comes from when you first experience anything. And it's like, if you hire somebody new and they don't know about this type of disability or this type of disability, they might get upset and yell at this kid when they really shouldn't. And then the parent will come over and be like, hey, my kid has like autism or something, you should really try talking to him differently, right?
Yeah.
Now that one, I actually took that story from Brandon, because he said that's how he got into the whole autism field. Because SeaWorld, they've been so these videos are from 2021, so I'm like kind of going from their latest like latest videos to like the earliest up. So this one from 2021, I can't really say if they're still in that field or anything, but I still try to give them credit and whatnot for the class and what they're teaching here. So it is a bit difficult to say sometimes, and if you can't really say if anything has changed. Oh, there you go. Did we take out those airship fabricators?
I am working on it right now.
Yeah, I'm heading that way to back them up.
Okay, well I'm headed over to the jammer.
Objective located. East.
Yeah, I
I got
killed
a
one
super
jammer.
devastator in the reg.
Oh, also, by the way, you got a gunship patrol headed right to you guys.
Oh, that's
Lovely.
just lovely.
And one spawning in right now too.
Alright. So,
Blue, I'm gonna
a lot
throw a
of
strike on you.
a lot of this will just sound familiar with each other, because it's basically like what they said is similar experiences, just different experiences at the same time in different organizations all trying to implement it. So the next one is that that counter parry area, which is actually a museum.
Got a sample.
Bro,
getting rocked right now.
yeah, I can tell, bro. I hear your controller, and I just have to stop for a second. It's like, you good?
I know, I turned it off, so hold on, I'll be myself.
So I can't turn off the jammer because I don't have an explosive.
I do.
Requesting orbital.
Do you need
Wait.
just an eruptor, or do you need...
I
something
need to
else?
take out the fabricator because it doesn't have a terminal. Does autocannon work? Autocannon works. Never mind, I got it. I didn't know the autocannon could take that out.
Alright, we got a
Pretty
walking
ashamed of
fabricator.
You're kidding.
Reinforcing.
I wish I was, and it's right by the dungeon fabricator.
All right,
Oh, yep.
making progress. So the counter parry, like I said, it's a museum, right? Oh, I shot the backpack back into the fabricator and blew it up.
Oh, that's nice.
Hey, when you don't have explosives, what else can you do?
Calling down a support weapon.
Find something that makes an explosive.
Exactly. I'm about to take
First
out
it
this
doesn't work,
heavy
get a
base
bigger
over here.
hammer.
Orbital inbound.
Alright, give me a second, I'll join you.
Requesting advanced weaponry.
All right. So counter parry is what they call a live outdoor museum. So it's like this big, like, well, it's kind of like self-explanatory, right? It's a museum about history that is basically mostly outside, and they're kind of doing a very similar experience to where they're using partnerships to be able to properly maintain their park. Ooh, I saw that.
Throwing an eagle.
Okay. Oh, we got the airships on us. Do. Got one. Got two.
Ow.
Autocannon's pretty good at taking these things out.
I agree.
There's three.
Heading for the hole.
Alright. So, counter parry, I can't really fully remember everything that they did in their video, right? But the one thing I do remember is with their partnerships is they made basically like outdoor attractions, like a what do they call it? A playground. They basically made this type of playground so that way it benefits like multiple people that have different types of cognitive issues, right?
Calling in reinforcements.
And these theme parks, or sorry, these playgrounds are actually, so sorry, I had something go up my nose. These theme parks are basically like they get their partnerships to come in there, and it's like they didn't actually design it or anything themselves. What they did is they just got the knowledge from these people, and they just had them actually design it themselves while working together with them in a certain area. And this way, if kids come in there and they have like certain type of issues or whatever, I think they mainly did theirs for like mobility issues, or like I guess have like kids that might have a hard time understanding like certain rides, or not rides, but like playground equipment without actually hurting themselves. So you'll like see the carousel like closer to the ground. It'll be more accessible, easier. There'll be like more safeguardings, and the way they have it is like it's not even just like say for kids either, but they have it like if adults have like certain type of issues and whatnot, the adults will be able to actually go there as well, and they'll be able to play on that playground as well with their kids. Another thing that they did was like a memory cafe. So a memory cafe is like for the elderly. It's basically a way that if they can't like remember like dementia, what is it? Dementia? Did I say that correctly?
Dementia.
Yeah, dementia. If they have like dementia or whatever, and they're like forgetting like parts of their past and everything, they will have these memory cafes that'll have like different instruments, different types of animals, different types of like showing puzzles and whatnot. So that way when they
Like
come
core
here,
memory triggers.
yeah, they're basically doing memory triggers. So that way families can like spend time with their grandparents or whoever, and they'll like be like, oh wow, I never even knew my grandmother knew how to play rock and roll on a guitar. Type of deal. That'd be kind of interesting though. It's like your grandma's just sitting in a chair every time you get there. Next thing you know, you take her to this place and she just starts playing rock and roll.
Yeah, I mean,
So I have
think
a
about
question
that,
for you. My grandmother, she had recently passed from, she had dementia. One of the things I had noticed was she had an altered mental status to the point where, her being a very loving and sweet woman, she became vindictive and mean, which was completely out of the ordinary for the entire family. How
Sell.
do you think the core memory, do you think that might actually help bring back some old characteristics, or?
So it's the way they explain it is that
Oh, finally I got it.
it won't fully bring back the personality of the person if they're like, you know, going through something. What it's mainly for is just to like kind of refresh their memory in the moment. So it's like so it's kind of like a momentary thing to where they can be
Like
like
a trigger?
yeah, basically triggers for the moment.
Oh, okay. It's like you're trying to remember, like, let's say you and I went to eat somewhere. Like, yeah, man, that's where you got that really funky beer. Remember you didn't like it, and boom, it triggers the memory.
Yes. So I guess instead of like drinks at a cafe, they call it a memory cafe because they offer all these different types of activities and what they call an orchestra zoo is what I believe they called it, but it's just basically like all the instruments and everything. I can't really say much more past the instruments because they didn't really explain like too much past that from what I remember. It was like, it's kind of like, you know, they have like a schedule, so they can't really go into too much detail.
Gotcha.
But that's like some of the things that they did at their part. Now, going past that one, because I don't think there was much I could say about Connor Perry, is Brandon, right? So the other guy, the fourth guy I mentioned, he actually is just a speaker, so he's like an organizer, but you know, he was still there like introducing the people and answering questions and whatnot. So I still like, you know, I count them in. Oh shit. We got a lot of guys over there.
Throwing down Eagle.
No, I need to run.
Alright. So next is Brandon Thom. It's interesting because when he made his debut in there, he was not working for what was it, Sesame Street anymore. So this is something that Sesame Street did, and he ended up going to Adventure Island, which is a water park in Tampa. And what he was talking about was that he was happy that he got to experience this because when he was working in Sesame Street, they really didn't have a whole lot of training or anything for like kids with disabilities, kids with autism. Their main focus was autism, right? So like having kids with that issue. And when they were going through this, I'm gonna be throwing this over here at this hawk.
Heard.
You remember that story I told? Where they were like, oh, you should talk to my kid differently?
Yes.
So that was his story. Where he said he felt really embarrassed and he didn't know like what he was doing or anything at the time. We got another hawk right behind us.
Yeah, oh.
Alright, hawk's dead.
Wait.
Oh, we got another one coming up. I think we should get out of this area before we get overrun.
Well, I'm dead.
I second that.
But when he was becoming like, you know, getting into his leadership roles, because at the time what he said is he was just like a glorified stone watcher, where he basically just had to stand by rocks and tell kids not to climb it, and that's where he got his experience from, is telling kids not to climb this rock. And that's when he met the kid with autism who was just not listening to him, and he ended up getting upset and yelling at the kid.
Reinforcing.
Oh my gosh. I can't run. No, switch.
Come on, you got this.
I've been running the whole time.
I keep getting
I've only known.
I keep getting blasted by those little things on the floor. Let's at least launch this ICBM.
So that opened his eyes to try and understand like the different circumstances of children.
Yes. So that was like his first experience with it, and when he felt like really embarrassed, and it was something that he said he would never forget about, and that he's gonna have to really work on from the future. And the way that they kind of went into fixing that is they got SeaWorld started working with an organization called CAC, Certified Autism Center, and they basically were getting themselves certified with like training and whatnot, so that way when they have like situations with kids, they'll be able to talk to the kids. And they would also have like, you know, their calming corners and their other type of things similar to, like I said, about the aquarium, but in this case for these type of children. So when you go to the Sesame Sea area, they would have, like, you know, like I said, the calming corners, those quiet rooms, the activities for them. They would even added, so this is something that the other place, I don't know if they said that they did it, but he commented on it, is that in their website and on their app, what they would do is they would have sensory, like, sorry, I'm putting in the code. They would have like sensory type of sensory ratings. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. But basically it's like, say you're going to see this attraction, or you're going to meet this mascot, or you're going to do this or that, right? The sensory ratings are all based on, is there a lot of touch? Is there a lot of colors? Is there a lot of smell? And the parents would be able to look at those ratings and decide if this is something that'll be safe for their child.
That's a great idea, honestly.
It's quite ingenious.
Yeah, really it is. Well, it's like these poor kids, you know, they can't help it, you know? It's not their fault.
Yeah, we're born that way.
Yeah,
And I think
exactly,
especially
you know.
with children who have autism or in some cases ADHD, they don't know how to convey that discomfort, which is awesome.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I would feel better, as you know, if I had kids. I don't, but I did have a stepson who was autistic, and I appreciate having people that were trained and aware of what he could be going through.
So, the things that they would usually say about this is that parents, when they come in here, they have to understand and be willing to self-identify the issues. But as soon as they do that, the park will do whatever they can to make it a rather safe environment for their kid.
Yeah.
And this is what all three of them had in common, is they just wanted these areas to be friendly. They wanted them to be able to have fun and be active. And the thing that they were all like going on is that you should want to be able to help everyone and make it as diverse as possible. And that way everybody who can come here can be their escape. It can be the place that you can take them to have the fun with their kids, to be able to enjoy that time, to just, no matter who it is. And of course there's always going to be haters no matter what, even no matter the situation. There's always going to be like, how did you catch on fire?
I think I was too close to the sun.
But
Oh, I'm getting lit up. Hey, what's up, fellas? Oh, I'm gonna die.
Sending enemy.
I just saw you with your
Hi.
arm up saluting, and then you just flew right past me on fire.
Rare sample acquired.
Glue together the mushroom.
The idea behind it is they said that you should strive to help everyone, even though it's impossible, but at least you tried, is what they said
There's
their
a whole
goal
kit. I'm
is.
telling you guys.
Now, I think I kind of understand that there's a point where you probably are going to have to make like focuses and try to understand which kids you can help and what people you can't help, and try to make your park into that image. Like if you're going to have like roller coasters and stuff, it might be a little hard to be, you know, with that sensory, especially it's like, oh, you got music blasting in your ears and you're going 90 miles an hour without a roof. Like,
Yeah.
there might be some issues depending on where you go, but from what I've noticed, it's like you kind of got to understand, and you got to understand your people, you got to understand your audience.
Yes.
So that way when you're making your park,
Thank you.
you know who you want to go for, you know who you want to do it for. Basically, so say like veterans, right? Veterans is my audience that I want to go for, right? I got to understand that veterans, you know, usually they have that dark humor. They'll be like wanting to be extreme or whatever, and you know they can be kind of silly and whatnot and tell their stories, unless they have like, you know, PTSD or something that might be harming them mentally, right?
Well, you also want to
So
look up
I think it would be really cool to make my park more about accessibility, right? So going into the DEAI, right? I want to focus more on that accessibility in the start, because if veterans come in and they're missing limbs or whatever, I still want them to be able to get into the park like freely. I want them to be able to do all their tasks. I want there to be like places where if they're on a wheelchair, they can still get on a roller coaster if they want to. So things like that.
What'd you say, Jackson? You were saying something?
Well, I said in the veterans case, I mean, you also need to look out for
You got a second hole.
sensory, especially with the PGAV, like loud noises, bangs, and roller coasters make a lot of bangs and clanks and.
Even the metallic sounds could be a trigger. You know, it's hard. Yeah, it could be saying it's hard to like. You're trying
That's one of those things.
to accommodate everybody. It's doable.
But you also gotta, I mean, you gotta take care of yourself as well, right? If you're a theme park, you gotta make sure that it kind of is running and has what you want in it, right? So you have to be able to stay standard at it.
Yeah.
Especially for when you're kind of picking the more important group. So when you're thinking like a theme park, and you're like, oh, well,
Requesting air
this is
support.
pathetic, I'm not saying it like this, but all the theme parks I went to, they all have like, big roller coasters, so I want my theme park to have big ones. Then you probably think, okay, well then I probably can't prioritize the sensory audience.
Yeah. So with this non-political like diversity and inclusion thing, right? So what do you think about the whole topic?
I think it's important. I think it gets drowned out by the political conversation. I don't think it's gotten the attention that it needs in the last few years.
So supposedly when they introduce these type of activities and whatnot, it actually apparently makes them more popular in ways, and it kind of opens up a light for them and whatnot. But I don't know if you would consider it a downside, is now you have to be a lot more responsible. So now you're having expecting parents. They're gonna come in there. They're gonna be like, "Oh, you guys are autism certified, so my kid should be fine coming here. Why is your employee yelling at my kid? I don't know why he's yelling at your kid. He should have had the 4-hour training course." So you're gonna be in like kind of the spotlight in that case, especially in like your first years. So you definitely you gotta be prepared for it.
Yeah, the first year's gonna be rough because you're gonna be hammering out a lot of kinks. and then you're going to be going through the whole filtering process with employees. You know, you got people that are looking for a job, and you got some people that, you know, are in it for the right reasons. And I think what would help it thrive is just take care of those people that are taking care of you.
So I find it interesting you say that, because in the first video that you guys weren't part of, they talked about diversity and inclusion in that one, except they talked about the political aspect, and there was like a lot of Black Lives Matter stuff in there and whatnot, and saying that you gotta have those people and whatnot, and that you're gonna become political and all this other nonsense, right? Things that I don't fully agree with. Now, I'm sure you will become political in some way, and you will have your mission and whatnot, and people will respect you for having that mission, but I feel like there should be like some type of line, if that makes sense.
Yes, I agree.
And
I believe there is a way. Sorry.
So the whole reason I was bringing this up is
oh god, your guys are all dead.
Yeah, you got one person you can bring in, but the extraction is kind of hot. Oh no, we lost the guy. Oh, well.
Jackson, I think he lagged out. Kinda hot. Are you kidding?
Wait. You brought in the guy that lagged out.
I know. I'm like, why?
But the reason I brought it up
is
because when one guy said it in a way, but then another guy said it in a different way in that video, right? So the museum was talking more about Black Lives Matter and how our history is nothing but violence and slavery and stuff like that. So, you know, it sounded like the agenda that's kind of being pushed now, and that's why I didn't like it. But another guy was saying that when you're going through the hiring process, it shouldn't be about like where they're from, what their skin color is, or anything like that. But what you're looking for is a people's person. That you want to find somebody who actually agrees with your mission, that sees the mission for what you see it as well, and is going to represent you during that mission. So that way, they're not going to fight against you, and they're not going to put some type of political agenda with you. And also, when you're going for a people's person, it doesn't matter if you're male or female in that regard, right? It's not like it's the military where there's like a physical difference or whatever, right? When you're going for this specific type of thing, it's like you really want somebody who's good with kids, good with families, is gonna have a level head, so when a customer acts like a jerk, you know, they're not gonna get heated and try to start a fight. So you're really going for people that fit the job, not fit the narrative.
Yes. Exactly. That's really what you want.
I think on top of that too is you want them to fit what you need, but also doing that in such a way because, excuse me, you want to do it in such a way to where yes, they are these people persons, because I've met a lot of people who do that, but they also find ways to either push the narrative or push something that might not be part of that goal within you, and it's also very important to be mindful of that.
Exactly.
You don't want stuff. It can cause turmoil within the employment groups as well, which can cause disarray.
Yes, you wanna have a culture within your facility, so that way everyone can work together. There's no political biases against each other. You all are accepting of your opinions.
Yes.
But at the same time, you don't want somebody going on social media and bashing you because you see something a certain way, even though you're over here trying to do the right thing, trying to help children that have disabilities.
Yeah. You're not gonna make everybody happy, but you definitely wanna. I guess the best thing to be is like you don't. If ideally you want to be neutral to where everyone feels welcome. You know, everyone can come and feel welcome and enjoy themselves, and really push that narrative to where like, hey, we're not pushing any kind of political view. We're here for you to enjoy yourself, have a good time. And that's the main focus here.
And see, to me, that's why I love this industry, is because if you go to a theme park, right? So say Universal, Disney, wherever you like to go, it's all about people getting together, like friend, neighbor, American, right? It's everyone getting together to have a good time. It's everyone getting together to enjoy themselves, escape the world, and just have fun, right? It's not about, oh, let's go to a place with a bunch of kids and try to start a fight, right?
Yes, yeah.
And I think that's what really makes theme parks magical, is there isn't this big narrative behind it. It's more about putting everybody together, and this is one of the reasons I want to do it red, white, and blue, is so that way we can all unite under what we're all having in common. We are all under the same banner of red, white, and blue, and we should all love and respect each other, either as family or neighbor.
Yeah, and really, honestly, you know, something that I guess the point to consider. Oh, I'm gonna get it right now. Thank you for that, son.
This is fun to watch.
I'm trying my best to stay alive.
I don't know how many times I got almost like
Run.
so many rockets.
Run for it. Go for it.
Tell my family I love them.
But something to consider too is, like, you know, even having like I don't know, I guess part of like maybe this is kind of a little bit of a minefield, I guess, social minefield. But even have like security looking out for that, you know, when you have people getting, like, it does happen, people will start getting into deep arguments or debates over something political, you know, something that triggers them, and here you go, you got two people in a yelling match.
Yeah.
You know, and I would think you would want to contain that situation quickly.
Yeah.
And like, hey, you know, you guys are having a disagreement, you know, but you're taking away from the fun here. Can we move y'all, separate them and de-escalate the situation, you know?
And
include that.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. No, you're fine.
I was gonna say, and that's where you want your people's people to be, is because you want your staff to understand that they're gonna have to go in there and break up these situations. They gotta be willing to tell somebody no. Like, hey, you're not gonna go behind that fence because there's an operating roller coaster. No, you can't get your phone. No, you can't come here and start a fight in front of the kids' play area. No, like.
Exactly.
But anyways, I think that kind of covers up most of that. Any last thoughts you guys wanted to add?
No, just that. I mean, we touched on a lot of things, and I found it very interesting, actually. But you know, you have to cover a lot of bases. It's doable, and I think you hit it on the head with how you train your people, looking for people that are sociable, that are able to handle dealing with other people. And the only thing I would bring up about that is, you know, those employees. I think a lot of businesses thrive because the employees are what bring the people back. You know,
and
like,
so,
you know, something as simple as like, oh, well, you know, yeah, this happened, but, you know, so and so came out and another person got involved. It turned from a crappy situation to, okay, they made it right, they took care of us, and then there you go. You give your theme park a good what am I looking for, reputation.
Yes.
You know, to build off of.
And that is important. So it's like, and this is where all the training and everything comes in, and this is where a lot of it's interesting, because the thought of it is, a lot of it they don't think of themselves, right? You noticed a trend that I was mentioning in the start? It's all partnerships. It's things that you find people with a common goal, a common message, and you look at what these groups can offer, and when you finally find these groups and you make that partnership together, then they're giving you their resources, and that's where you get your certifications from. You find the training you need, you find like the blueprints. So like when you're making your area, your partners will come in and show you, hey, this is a great place for a calming corner. Hey, here's some bags that you can give to these kids. And I actually just remembered from this conversation is the partnerships, if you're trying to go for one of these goals, they even tell you about how to organize events if you're really trying to get into the DAIA. So, sorry, the DEAI. And such as the aquarium I told you about, they'll host like special days to where they'll limit the capacity a little bit. They'll turn
There you
down the
go.
music and the lights, and they'll request that their staff, instead of using the loud microphone, to actually go up to the guest and be polite with them. And they said that they had reports of parents that have the kids with those cognitive disabilities coming up to them and crying, saying, I can't believe you have somebody working here like that."
It's that personal touch, you know. It's having someone that understands what's going on, and like you said, going to the people on an individual level, like, hey, what's going on? You know, is there anything we can do to help? And with parents that have these children, you know, we don't know what they go through. So just to have an extra set of hands, even for a small amount of time, is such a relief.
And
I think the other thing too. Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
The other thing that I think you grasp and really bring forth is that humans, at their core, are very social creatures, and that personal connection that you were just talking about is vital, because that really brings the fact that someone is going out of their way to, it helps them feel appreciated, or that they don't feel alone or scared or overwhelmed in many cases, which is very important in that kind of aspect.
And to go on that, this is why, have you ever been to a store and they always call you a customer, but when you go to a theme park, they always call you a guest, because you are the host and what you are selling is an experience. And so these people are your guests, and that's why you have the food to feed them, the hotels, the have them have a place to stay, and so on. And it's all comes full circle that these are your people that you need to take care of. Because honestly, whoever goes to a theme park alone?
Yeah. True.
All right, well, I guess that covers everything up for this video. Anyways, if anyone actually watches this, make sure you like and subscribe and say hello to my boys here if you see them. All right, you guys want to say goodbye?
All right.
Thank you for having us. It was a blast.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for
Yeah.
thanks for the invite. I enjoyed it immensely.
Yes, sir, of course. All right, guys, you have a great night, everyone, and make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Take care.